What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be talking about the best point guard in the NBA, and that is Steph Curry. And recently, Steph in the month of April has been going absolutely nuts, nearly averaging 40 points per game on 50, 45, and 90 splits. And I think everyone can agree Steph Curry is one of, if not the best players in the NBA. Now, all of that is great, but today I want to talk about Steph Curry and his overall influence on the NBA and the history of basketball. And in my opinion, Steph Curry is the most influential player of all time when it comes to on-the-court play. I'm not talking about cultural influence, I'm not talking about marketing influence, I'm not talking about off-the-court activism, I'm talking about purely on-the-court basketball. Who has influenced the game the most? I believe that is Steph Curry. Now, before I get into this video, if you haven't already subscribed, make sure to do so, and if you could like this video, I'd greatly appreciate it. So with that out of the way, let's get into the video. So like you guys know, Steph Curry is the best shooter of all time and one of the most efficient players in NBA history. And Steph's shooting ability in general has transcended sports and has transcended the NBA. In a short amount of time since 2014, Steph has completely changed the NBA, how teams draft players, who they value, how you build teams, and how you build championship teams. Steph Curry on his own has changed the overall makeup of the entire NBA. He's pulled the game out farther, made offenses have more spacing, and he's made it a more enjoyable offensive game. Also during this time, we've seen Steph, as well as other NBA players, break numerous shooting records, and the overall pace of play in the NBA has reached an all-time high. Now, Steph Curry is not the first player ever to shoot a high volume of three-pointers, but he is the first player to make teams realize you can win championships playing that style. Of course, you have great players in the past, like Reggie Miller, Ray Allen, Peja Stojakovic, Gil Arenas, as well as Steve Nash, but all those guys were kind of stepping stones to what we have now, which is Steph Curry, who took it to a completely different stratosphere. And to show you guys how big Steph's influence has been on the league, let me give you guys some quick facts on three-point shooting throughout the years. So the first thing I want to do is look at 4 different years in the NBA. Let's look at 2021, 2014, 2004, and 1994. And why I chose these years is because 2021, as the current year, 2014 is when Steph really entered his prime, 2004 is the first year where they eliminated hand checking, and 1994 was the last year before they moved the three-point line in. Now, looking at the three-point attempts during these years, 2021 is 34.6, 2014 is 21.5, 2004 is 14.9, and 1994 is 9.9. So look at the gaps between all these years. 2021 and 2014, that gap is 13.1. The gap from 2004 to 2014 is only 6.6. And the gap from 94 to 04 is only 5. So look at the three-point shooting and how it's escalated over the years. It was on a pretty steady path all the way from 94 up to 2014, but around 2014 when Steph arrived in his prime, it picked up very slightly, and now from 2014 to 2021, it's increased drastically to 34.6. And the 2014-2021 gap is the shortest amount of time passed, but it has almost double the amount of three-pointers taken. And that's in large part due to Steph Curry and his overall influence. Now, the next thing I want to do is look at the league leaders for all 4 of those years. On your screen right now, you can see the league leaders, the Jazz, the Rockets, the Sonics, and as you can see once again, the biggest gap is from 2014 to 2021. And the one thing I want to point out to nail this home is that the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2021 attempt 28.6 threes a game. That is the least amount of threes in 2021. That Cavs team in 2014, 2004, or 94 will be the league leader in three-pointers taken, and they are the worst three-point shooting team currently in the NBA. Now, so far, I've been looking at the teams and the overall league averages, but now I want to look at specific players in this time period. So in NBA history, there's been a total of 24 players to make 200 or more threes in a single year. 17 of those players came from 2014 to 2021. The rest of NBA history only has 7 players. And if that doesn't blow your mind, this will. Steph Curry on his own has 4 years of 200 plus made threes. So everyone else in NBA history pre-2014, and not including the shortened three-point lines, has 4 of themselves. So that right there shows Steph Curry is an anomaly when it comes to shooting the basketball. Also, when looking at Steph in particular, his 2016 MVP year, he made 402 threes. The 2015 Timberwolves, only a year prior, only made 406 as a team, and the 2014 Grizzlies only made 405 total as a team. So Steph at this time period was taking more threes than anyone in NBA history, and he was making more threes than almost an entire NBA team. And if you go back in NBA history and look at the 04 season, we had 11 teams in the NBA with under 402 threes, and go a decade back to 1994, you had 27 teams in the league make under 402 threes. At the time, that was the entire NBA making under 402 threes. And this may sound redundant because it is, but I really want to get this home. Steph was not the first player ever to shoot threes, and he wasn't the first ever good three-point shooter. But he was the first player to make people realize how valuable the three-point shot was, and it accelerated the inevitable growth of the three-point shot at an extreme rate from 2014 to 2021, like I showed you guys. Now, one last stat I have, we're looking at players in NBA history who have attempted 500 or more threes in a single year. You have 177. So looking at players from 1980 to 2014, you have 51 total players who took 500 or more threes. Now look at post-2014, you have 126. If that stat isn't astounding, I don't know what will be. And the last thing I have for you guys, once again deals with three-point shooting, this time the deep three-point shots. And this stats and data go out to 2015, but in this short time period, you can see the influence of Steph Curry. Look at 2015 to 2020, three-point shots under 26 feet, from 26 feet to 30 feet, and three-point shots 30 to 35 feet. So look at the first two columns, it's a pretty gradual increase, it's growing slightly each year, but what really stands out is the three-point shots from 30 to 35 feet. Back in 2015, you had players taking 13.7% of their threes from that distance. 2016, 15%, 2017, 22%, and it would grow and grow and grow to now in 2020, we have 26% of players' threes being from 30 to 35 feet. That's nearly a double in percentage in only 6 years. And I don't think that's a coincidence like everything in this video. I think Steph Curry is the primary reason for all this increase in three-point shooting, whether it be deep threes, the volume of threes, or three-pointers made. It all comes back to Steph Curry in the end as the primary mover for the three-point revolution. Now, I won't bore you guys with any more stats, but I will end this video by saying a little bit about Steph Curry and his overall impact on the game of basketball. So over the past 5 to 6 years, Steph Curry has become one of the greatest players of all time, and in that time, like I said, he's revolutionized the NBA and three-point shooting. I think there are positives for that, as well as negatives. I think it's harder to play defense than ever. You can barely touch shooters, you can barely jump into them, and it's hard to even contest shots these days. I think the spacing right now in the league is absolutely insane. Rim protection and big man, they really have been devalued in the past few years, and I think we've seen a big change in the stretch 4s as well as the stretch 5s. And the game right now, unlike any point in NBA history, is dominated on the perimeter and not in the paint or in the mid-range. And I think Steph, to a large degree, looking at individual players, he's influenced a lot of guys to take more threes, and he's really made deep three-point shooting an actual good shot if you can shoot those threes. Go back to 2010 or 2014, if you shot a 35-foot three, most likely that was considered a bad shot, even if you were a very good three-point shooter. Fast forward to 2021, you have guys pulling from 35 feet almost twice every game, and it's basically become the norm, and you quite literally have to pick up guys like Steph once they come over half court. The game has figuratively and literally expanded during this short time, and like I said before, that is in large part due to one Steph Curry. So in this video right here, I made my case, and I made my argument as to why Steph Curry is the most influential player on the court in NBA history. Looking at how he's changed the game in 6 years, and he's made teams totally change their offenses as well as their defenses, and how they draft players, how they value players, and how they trade players. Steph Curry has an impact and a reach that we can't even see right now, and the NBA game in the 2020s is basically going to be the Steph Curry era 2.0 as his influence will carry on to the next generation. So that right there was the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.